Hey guys, John V here again from PhoneArena. You're watching our video comparison between the LG Spectrum, the Motorola DROID RAZR. Both devices are available right now. You can pick up the DROID RAZR for $250, 32GB version, whereas the Spectrum is at $200. They're both very similar in terms of specs. 4G LTE connectivity, dual-core processors, large displays. We'll check them out and see which one's going to be the better between the two. There's no arguing about it, the Motorola DROID RAZR is easily the better looking handset thanks to its killer industrial design and its top-notch quality choice of materials. It's also the more sturdy feeling handset. It has that built like a tank feel, whereas the LG Spectrum feels a little bit more flimsy with its all-plastic construction, tends to scratch easily, and on top of that, the glossy back plastic displays a lot of debris and also fingerprints. The DROID RAZR is also a benchmark device just because it is ridiculously thin, and overall it exhibits all the qualities of a top caliber smartphone. We have to admit, both handsets offer sharp-looking displays. With the LG Spectrum, it's a 4.5-inch True HD IPS display, 720p resolution, whereas on the Motorola DROID RAZR, it's a 4.3-inch QHD Super AMOLED advanced display. So on paper, the LG Spectrum offers the higher pixel density, but to tell you the truth, when you're looking at both handsets from a good distance away, let's say like a foot away, our eyes don't notice the difference, and to tell you the truth, it's almost indistinguishable. They're still very sharp looking. The other thing is just color production. With the Super AMOLED panel on the DROID RAZR, it exhibits the more saturated color tones, which tends to really capture the attention of people, whereas the LG Spectrum has an IPS panel, more realistic looking colors, good brightness output with both, but the DROID RAZR has the better viewing angles between the two. Thanks to their front-facing 1.3 megapixel cameras, it makes taking self-portraits very easy. On top of that, you can use it for video chat. When it comes to physical buttons, we actually prefer the LG Spectrum just because its buttons are a little bit more pronounced, easier to feel, and the response is also better. All the ports on both handsets are found at the top edge. You have the 3.5mm headset jacks, you have the micro USB port on the LG Spectrum, which is used for charging, data connectivity, and also video out with the aid of an MHL adapter. On the DROID RAZR, it has it separately. You have a micro USB port and a micro HDMI out port. In the rear, both handsets feature 8-megapixel autofocus camera, single LED flash, and they both also have 1080p video recording. One of the advantages of the LG Spectrum is that it features a removable battery, and as far as storage, it comes preloaded with a 16GB micro SD card. The Motorola DROID RAZR features 8GB of internal storage, and it's further supplemented by the included 16GB micro SD card, but its battery is not something that can be replaced by the user. Even though we're sad by the fact that these two handsets are still running Android 2.3 Gingerbread, there's consolation in the fact that they're going to get ice cream sandwich down the road. But if we had to pick between the LG Optimus 2.0 skin on the Spectrum versus the Motorola DROID RAZR's Moto Blur skin here, we'd probably pick Motorola's interface just because it offers a little bit more polish with its neat-looking 3D effects. It just has a lot of eye candy to it, but you still have the great personalization aspects of both handsets. The other cool thing about the DROID RAZR, it has Motorola Smart Actions, which allow you to control a lot of aspects about the smartphone. When it comes to pure raw power, both devices are pretty much on the same level with their performance. The Motorola DROID RAZR is powered by a dual-core 1.2 GHz TI OMAP processor, while the LG Spectrum packs a dual-core 1.5 GHz Qualcomm Snapdragon S3 processor. So for most basic tasks, opening up applications, it's pretty quick and instantaneous. You could tell good responsive movements, even with live wallpapers. They handle it very well. Every now and then you notice some slowdown lag with each device, but it's never to the point detrimental, and overall they work very similarly. Even though the LG Spectrum boasts the larger display between the two, we don't find it any more advantageous when it comes to typing up messages, just because with their respective keyboards, they're very spacious with their layouts, and on top of that, good responsiveness to keep up with our fast rate, and overall, they're both more than usable. By now, we've fallen in love with the 4G LTE connectivity of both handsets. They deliver really fast data speeds and loading complex web pages like ours. But between the two, the Motorola DROID RAZR has the better responsiveness. You can tell with pinch gestures and also kinetic scrolling, it's just a lot more fluid looking. Whereas on the Spectrum, it has a little bit of choppiness, but it's still more than acceptable. When it comes to playing music, we actually like the music player interfaces of both handsets. They have really spiffy looking visuals when you're playing songs. In portrait, it looks the same. You have the album cover, the on-screen controls. In landscape, though, for the LG Spectrum, you get this slick looking 3D carousel. Kind of get it too with the Motorola DROID RAZR in portrait, but also displays the lyrics as songs playing. As far as the audio quality, they're both very good. A little bit on the weak side, but doesn't strain. But there's a little bit of sharpness with the LG Spectrum. Above we have the Motorola DROID RAZR and the bottom the LG Spectrum. They're both playing the same video that's encoded in MPEG-4 1920 by 1080 resolution. You can tell they're moving very fluidly, no slowdown or lag, but seeing that the Motorola DROID RAZR has a little bit more popular looking colors, it does come off as the more appealing device to watch videos. Unfortunately, even with all their prowess, we're a bit underwhelmed by the results produced by their respective 8-megapixel cameras. The top, we have the samples from the Motorola DROID RAZR, and the bottom, the LG Spectrum. They're very poor quality, to tell you the truth. The biggest differentiator between the two is the fact that the DROID RAZR just seems to have a little bit more washed out colors, both outdoors and indoor shots under artificial lighting. But as a whole, we're not impressed by either device. Furthermore, we can't say much about the 1080p high-definition video recording on both handsets just because, again, it's a little bit underwhelming and we're disappointed, honestly. The DROID RAZR, it's just played by some washed-out looking colors, while the LG Spectrum has a lot of overexposure with its video recording, but they do move very quickly at 29 frames per second, and they capture audio very clearly. Calling quality is actually superb with both handsets just because they deliver clear and distinctive voices on both ends of the line without any instances of any background noise or static. But with the speakerphone, gotta give it to the Motorola DROID RAZR the advantage just because the LG Spectrum tends to muffle voices. Even though we noticed some drop for GLT connections, it's not as prevalent as other devices. And as far as signal strength is concerned, they're pretty much the same in all places that we use them, and they didn't drop any phone calls. Not a shocker to us in any way. The battery life on both handsets are rather poor versus other smartphones. They just seem to eat up battery very quickly because of 4G LTE connectivity. We managed to get roughly 10 hours out of normal usage on a single charge, so that means you're going to want to charge these devices as often as possible. So as it currently stands, the DROID RAZR is available in two versions, 16GB, 32GB. 32GB version is $250 versus the $200 16GB version, and the LG Spectrum is at flat out $200 for the 2-year contract. In all honesty, you're better off spending your money on the DROID RAZR. Just by far, it's the more memorable device between the two with its killer design, just very thin, lightweight, and it feels like the more solid handset when you hold it versus the all-plastic construction of the LG Spectrum. They both work very similarly in various categories such as taking photos and videos, the calling quality, and even battery life, very similar on par to one another. The experience is of course different. You have the Motor Blur skin versus the LG Optimus skin. We just like the polished feel of the Motorola DROID RAZR. Neither has ice cream sandwich, but they're both coming. But either way, you're better off spending the money on the DROID RAZR. So if you'd like to learn more about either handset, you can check out our website, guys, PhoneArena.com. This is John V. As always, thanks for watching.